So I'm here with Jane Kristenson, who has been involved with Handbells for a long time. And we're just going to ask a few questions, have a little chat about what your involvement has been.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about your musical journey.
All right. I guess it started when I was 6 or 7 years old and the piano came in the front door. And I have not stopped playing since that day. Then through high school, and I had a wonderful piano teacher, and went to Augsburg College, Minneapolis, where I got an education degree with music, and my specialty was pipe organ.
Wow.
And I taught junior high music for 5 years until we had children, and never went back to that again. But church music has been my life's career.
Yeah, indeed. And so where did you grow up?
In Walnut Grove, Minnesota.
Minnesota, that's nice.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, great. And how did you become interested in handbells?
In 1990, when Breck McCann was Minister of Music at Messiah Lutheran in Camrose, we decided it was time to purchase handbells. And I started that right away then, a group for senior citizens. We called it Senior Handbells, but it didn't indicate a level. It indicated senior citizens. And that is the roots of the group that we have now.
Wow.
That has never stopped. The group became younger, and the group that we have now is a wide range, but still all adults.
Wow.
There was a brief time where we tried working with junior high students with all of the scheduling challenges that happens with that. That was brief.
Busyness,
yes.
Yeah.
But our adult group has continued straight through. It has gotten smaller. It had gotten smaller. So when we came back then, and when I went back to that group a year ago, then we expanded back into the 3 octaves.
Very nice. That's great. So where have you been active with handbells then? Because Minnesota to where?
Not Minnesota.
Okay.
So it's starting in 1990, and that was my first exposure to handbells. Okay. But I just really enjoyed it.
And that was in Camrose.
In Camrose, okay, that's right, at Messiah Lutheran. In 2006, Steve and I moved to Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia, and a wonderful church with a nice old Cassavant pipe organ that was all intact. It was a perfect instrument for the space there, and that church had significant endowments, and one that had been designated specifically for Christian education and outreach, and the committee determined that the music program fit under that.
Wow,
critique. So our first year there, we bought new choir gowns, would you believe, and the new hymnal, and handbells and chimes, and they financed our trips to Bell events.
Oh yeah,
it was wonderful.
In the Maritimes, did you participate in those ones in the Maritimes?
We went to one in New Brunswick, and then the one in Lunenburg, which was close by.
Yeah.
So that was really where handbells took off for me.
Yeah.
I had 3 groups there.
Wow.
I had one group that was musicians, and they were wonderful. Yeah. I always like to brag about groups because you won't hear them, so you can't decide for yourself. So I can say they were wonderful.
Yeah.
They were excellent. I could give them anything, and we did some really interesting and fun music.
Yeah, great.
Then I decided to expand a little bit and start a group for people who had never played handbells. And this was an experiment. I didn't have any great goals with this. I just wanted to introduce people to bells. So I said the prerequisites for this group is that you have to be able to count to 4. And I had to twist a few arms, but I had a full group of 11.
Wow.
And I started them out with a flip chart and note values, since counting is where it's all about.
Yeah.
With handbells, and we played on the flip charts for a few weeks, and then I gave them a little piece of paper with the grand staff with their notes on, and away we went. left.
Wow.
And that group was together for many years until I left.
Yeah.
My favorite quote there was, after being with them for a few years, I have always felt sorry for people who, when you say, do you read music? Oh no, I know nothing about music. And that always makes me kind of sad. So I said, now when people say to you, do you read music? What do you say? And the one lady piped up right away and said, I say I read 2 notes. Which I thought was perfect. And they were so proud of themselves. They were a happy group.
Yeah.
My third group there, though, was my quartet.
Right.
Which it was 4 ladies, 4 of us, who, as you know, for a quartet, you need to be really compatible.
Yeah.
And we were. We were just a natural group and had such a good time together. We were called Bell Canto, Belle, because we were ladies. And we were together for several years. We got to perform at one Belle Flourish and the one in Lunenburg. And they were the ones then that inspired me to do some arranging. They didn't ask me to, but it just sort of happened.
It just came. Yeah. Is that the first time that you started writing for bells?
Well,
for that group?
I think so.
Yeah.
The group of beginners that I had, I arranged most of their music.
Okay.
Because I had to custom fit it.
Yeah.
but yeah, any serious arranging, that was probably where I started.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And did you play in the group, in the quartet?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's lovely. Great.
Yeah.
What does your group look like now? You're back in, was there a stop between Lunenburg and back to Camrose, or?
For the, at Messiah, do you mean?
Yeah. Or did you do anything between Lunenburg and Camrose? Like coming back to Camrose?
No, just we went, when we left the East Coast, we went to Jasper. And I was tortured there that I didn't have any handbells, and I knew that there were a few sets here in Edmonton that weren't being used.
Yeah.
And I toyed with that, but then I thought of all the logistics of that, and I thought, no, that doesn't work. Yeah. And then it turned out that we only got to be there 3 years. We had hoped to be longer. Yeah. So then it was back to Camrose. And actually there was a full-time person in Camrose at the time. Yeah. So for a couple of years then, there was no opportunity for me until a year ago, now in February. Yeah, great. Was when it was opened up for me to get back into it again. That's great. And I think there were only 3 or 4 in the group at that time. Okay. So I just got on the phone, and it was very fun to call people and have them say, yes, I always wanted to try that. So in no time, I had a full group again. So do you have 3 octaves or 4? Okay. 3 octaves. Back to 3 octaves. And chimes. Okay. And mallets. Right, yeah. The whole thing. Yes. Good. We're lucky to have them. And are you doing some writing for that group yet? No. Not yet. No, but I've been pulling stuff out of the files that I had done before. Awesome. I gave them a new piece again last Thursday, and I said, I bet you think I'm just whipping these out, but the truth is I'm whipping them out of my files. But I'm about at the end of those, and just yesterday I took one of the quartets and thought I could arrange this for full group. For 3 so I'm playing around with that a little bit. Wonderful. Yeah. That's great. What do you want the ringers to get out of the music that you've composed or arranged? What's your idea for giving it to them? I think just the joy of music. I just think music is just so fun. And what makes me happy is when we get to the end of the rehearsal and they say, what? It's the end. It's over already? Yeah. That, and I've been giving them some pretty challenging things. Nice. And the first time through, or the second or third, and they're thinking, we'll never perform this. And we did one for a couple of weeks ago that I wondered when we started. And they were really pleased. Good. That it went so well. And there's a real sense of pride in any accomplishment after you've worked that hard on something. Yeah. There are a few older, And so I've always said that one of the things you can do to stave off dementia is to learn a foreign language.
Yep.
And music is a foreign language.
Fills that blank.
So I said, you can thank me for your good health. and we're delaying dementia here. Yeah. But they work so hard. Yeah. I've always thought if you could bottle concentration that you get in handbell groups. Yeah. But then they feel so good at the end. Yeah. Which is really satisfying.
That's great. Is that group continuing to inspire you to compose or think about things you might work on with them in the future?
Perhaps. Yeah. Nothing that I have done was original. I've only done arrangements.
All arrangements. Okay.
They're all arrangements. Yeah. So, and that's probably my limitation.
That's where you enjoy working. Yeah. Well, that's great.
And yeah, I'm sure I will do some more of that.
Are there particular composers who inspire you, or is it more just that you can hear what you can do with a tune or with an idea that you could arrange for handbells?
Oh, it's got to be the second. My first arrangement for the quartet was Scott Joplin's The Entertainer.
Nice. Yeah.
And I don't know how I ended up doing any of the arrangements I did. It was like, oh, maybe I should try this.
Nice.
And so that I don't sit down and say, I think I should arrange something.
Yeah.
It's all just come.
That's great. Are any of your pieces published?
Yes.
Oh, good.
I just happen to have copies with
Excellent.
me.
That's great.
The first one, and I just got a royalty check a week or so ago.
Nice. Can't go wrong with that.
And the continued bestseller is The Entertainer
for quartet.
For quartet.
Wonderful.
There it is. And these are all from the Top Music in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah.
And I like to say I have a great relationship with my publisher.
Good.
Lila. She's lovely because every year I write when the letter comes and we have this little conversation.
Very nice.
So just last week she said, so are you back into bells? Are you going to be writing some more? So
she's anxious
she would
to see what might be coming.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Fun. So here from the top, we have The Entertainer. We have Joyous Bells, which is on the Beethoven Ninth Symphony, fourth movement. We have Peace Bells, which is on Dona Nobis Pacem. Norwegian Dance by Edvard Grieg.
That's the hardest.
Yeah. And Huron Carol and Christmas Lullaby on the Cradle Song. And the Ash Grove and Morning Star in a collection of two.
The Visham liked it.
Nice. That's great. And I think if people go to the Canadian handbell composers list on the Handbell Musicians of Canada, they might see some other things on there as well. So obviously they can access your pieces then from the top and purchase them. And all of these are quartets?
All of these are quartets.
Okay. Well, thank you for speaking with me today. It's been a delight to get to know some more of your music. And please do continue writing for handbells.
Okay. Thank you.